Recording in progress.
Very good morning, afternoon, and evening, and lovely to see all my audience on Zoom and Facebook, and the people who will watch the recording later as well. I'm your host, Maratib, and welcome to our week 5 in the online uh, course we started a couple of weeks ago. Um, and just before going to our today's topic, which is extremely important, is one of the fundamental topic which we can ever learn today, and can help to change our life. Um, and before going, I will just very briefly will elaborate what we covered in last 4 weeks. For week 1, before even going, I want to recap what this whole online course about. That is all about discovering myself, finding the true identity of myself, finding the true myself, who I am. And that is a extremely foundational question. And surprisingly, astonishingly, we don't know who we are. And even if we know little bit, then we have all incorrect and the wrong understanding about ourselves. So if we don't know, or we have um, impure and incorrect perception about our reality, then how we can get the real success, how we can interact with other people, including friend, family, or even with myself, if I don't know who I am in real with the reality, or even I say ultimate reality. We are exploring actually ultimate reality, not the reality, because everybody has some sort of reality understanding, and they think that they know the reality and they are in real world. But I am here far ahead from your concept of reality, which is ultimate reality. And with that mindset, we are discovering ourselves and actually rediscovering ourselves, who we are, so that we can live a great, happier, and clear life, very clear, transparent, crystal clear life. And obviously that will impact on our surrounding as well if we are clear. So week 1 we did discuss that how we are ignorant, with the topic truth of ignorance. And then, because we never contemplate our thoughts, we never challenge our beliefs, so therefore we have a very poor knowledge about the ourself, and hence its connection with the other world. Week 2 we learn about, rather than to define ourselves, we must know what we are not. So that's more important, because Eckhart Tolle is saying we cannot define ourselves. Nobody can define myself, or even I cannot define myself, because as soon I will define myself, I will make myself limit in roles and goals, and very limited um, stuff I will be thinking about self. So rather than to define myself, we must know what we are not. And where we discussed we very in detail. In week 3, we learn about what is the connection of myself with the reality of abundance, with the personality assessment test we do when we do interview, or we get admission somewhere, or when somebody try to assess me, or when I try to find myself who I am with some cognitive type of test. And then we also learn what is a connection with scarcity mindset, and how scarcity mindset define my own identity, my own thing. And then last week we learned extremely another important topic about interpretation of the world in terms of good and bad. And we often describe our life and we live according to good and bad. And we did learn in detail uh, that how we label something good, how we do label something bad, and that good and bad define actually controls my life. And obviously, since good and bad is a very relative definitions of the thing, therefore we live very fake or imaginary world. But because we have defined already good and bad, therefore according to me I'm living in a real world, but actually in ultimate reality we living in very fake world, very imaginary world, very wrong world, because all things I'm doing relatively. And that impact on me, that how I see the world, how I perceive the things, how I manage and see my different events of life with a very different reality. Uh, and that is a very temporary reality, very fake reality, sort of. And now, today, we are going to explore another great paradigm, I should say, about time, and why time is important with my identity, why time is important with my own self, and what is the relationship between me and the time. It looks like both are very different. I'm an individual, I'm a body, I'm a Maratib, and time. I mean, okay, I know what is time, but how it can relate with myself, or it is so important that time is controlling me, or I don't actually know what time is. So, and if I know what is time is, then it is defining myself, who Maratib is, who someone is, who George is, who Mary is, who Ahmed is, or whatever. So that is important. And also today is so important that we have divided our world into past, present, and future. So these are the three times which our teacher taught us when we were baby, when we were toddler, that we are now we living in present. It was past, and now we thinking about future. And that very day when I was given the concept of past, present, future, till now and even till my deathbed, I will all the time thinking my life in terms of past, future, present, something like. And that is a disaster for my real life. And how we are going to explore today. And we have picked up a couple of quotations and paragraphs from Eckhart Tolle's world-renowned book, A New Earth, and where we are learning amazing and very different ideas about different things. So let's start our today's topic, and that we will start with present time, present moment. That what does it mean by present? And when we think about present moment, or now, when we say, okay, I'm doing it right now. Oh, you must do it right now. So, what does it mean by now, and what does it mean by present time, and how it is related with past and future? That is very directly linked with my own self, my personality, or my myself, which I think I am, and we will try to know uh, the reality, which is ultimate reality, that uh, how we should see time, um, and how it we can allow time to control us, or it does not control us, or um, what think about my world or myself, what it is actually. So let's start it. And before we start readings and different interpretation, thoughtful, I would ask you, if you have subscribed my YouTube channel, there should be a link below. You can also join my blog website where I often write and share different stuff related to personal development, career, uh, ex- existential type of topic, identity related topic, spirituality, and lot of other things. So let's start today. And if somebody on Facebook, you want to see my screen as well, there will be a Zoom link, and I will allow you to enter into my room, and where you can have more intensive and interactive way of learning by watching the screen, which has a text and also audio, and the visual effects as well. That is just, otherwise you stay tuned on the Facebook, no problem. So let's start today. So right now I'm speaking with my audience, with my colleagues, with my friends, with my students, with my watchers everywhere, right? Even if you are watching this recording, this is a very present moment. The present moment which directly live, and as soon that moment pass, it becomes a past. Okay, now the question is, the most important and primordial relationship in your life is your relationship with now, or rather than with whatever the form now takes, the now moment, that is to say, what is or what happens. So anything what happening now or what happens, that is a present moment, and that is the only live moment which I can do something. I can I must stick with it. I must engage me in that moment. And as soon that moment will pass, the present moment becomes the past. It no longer has any connection with myself. Myself is live only in present moment, only now, and therefore that concept, that's a reality, is so um, fade, so unclear in our life, that we don't involve or engage myself with present moment. If we are watching anything, if we are doing something, we will not be in present moment. We either are thinking some past event, some yesterday, day before yesterday, last week, last month, last year, or any stage of my life in specific, that I will go on there. I'm lost there. My ego mind is so clever, is taking me there. Or I'm going in future, in fantasy, is something which I'm thinking that I will create, and I will it make me scare as well sometime, because when I'm imagining that I'm in future in doing something, I may have a fear of failure or some scaredness. Some people call it excitedness, but excitedness or something that looks positive, but in a longer term, it is fear, and it turns into fear if we don't do action in present moment, in now moment. So now moment, as soon we lost, we will lose it, because either we are always are in past, or in future, then it strengthens my ego. And that ego is making your life dysfunctional, absolutely dysfunctional. And no matter you feel pathetic or victim based on your past event, because of your personality, because of your any bad incident happen, because of your partner, because of your children, because of your parents, because of your boss, because of your colleague, because of social negative event, some robbery happened, some crime happened in your life, or something happened, that all was past, but it will strengthen your ego, and that make your present very static, and even you does not have awareness that you need to do something in a present life, because now you are egoic because something has happened, and that your mental mind will make you lost in the past. And the same time, when you are not present, you either are in future, like I said already. And because you are visualizing future something, and you are comparing your present moment with future, and you think that you will do in future, you are planning it, you are doing something, or if it is a matter of fear, you think that you will be trapped in any fatal disease, you will lose your business, you will lose your car, you will lose your house, you will lose your partner. So that all fear which lies in future, which never happens, and which happens only in your mind, also strengthen your ego. So ego basically works on your past or with the relationship of future, and both are unreal, both are imaginary, because both does not have any contribution in your present life, which is your live life, which is your real life. Have you imagined that when you are sitting with your partner, for example, and you are one-on-one with your partner, possibly you are making romance, or you want to touch your the soul of your partner, and you are absolutely concentrating on your partner. That moment is called live moment. Okay, but is it very pure what we do? No. As soon I am very close to my partner, what happens? I lost in my past. Something happened with my partner, did something wrong, but that my memory is recalling it. Or I have a mistrust on my partner, and I have a doubt my partner will do something wrong in future. So the moment I'm close in a present moment with my partner, that will make me either in past or in future fear or past incident, and that will impact and disappear my present moment, and the quality of love, the quality of a relationship, touchy moment will disappear, will no longer. And the other soul will feel it, that something happened. And that is the problem with our today's life, that we don't live in present life. We don't live a live life. We live in imaginary life. Our mind takes in our dead moments of the past, and that is the problem uh, of our modern man. So, because even consciously I am understanding what is present moment, and I'm very alert now, and I know now I'm present, my body is here, I'm watching a movie, I'm watching Maratib on a Zoom or video. Uh, I'm learning something, yeah, and that is a present moment, and that's very normal. That's absolutely normal, and a living moment. But many people think that the present moment is an obstacle. In what obstacle? In making my future. But in reality, their future, the present moment, is a only live and moment, and the time actually is a stage of your consciousness where you are constructing your something, not in future. It's all fantasy. So once you have reached a certain level of your consciousness, like for example, if you are reading or you are watching this um, lecture, so you are able to decide what kind of relationship you want with the present moment, and you want to make present moment as your enemy, or you want to make present moment as your friend. So
I don't know that one.
all cash all what we call it conscious and open-minded people, enlightened people, leaders, the truly leader, they make the present moment as a friend, not as an enemy. And what does it mean by present and the enemy? So if you are friend of your present moment, it means that you know how to use it, and you will be engaging yourself in present moment all the time, no matter it comes in any form in your life, and it will give you instantly result, and your life become a friend of you. Your life will, people will be helpful for you. You you are creating amazing environment in office or at home, and that one decision will make your uh, reality entirely in a different way what it was before. So work on the present moment is the key for your life, and the present moment is all the time. It's not that present moment you have to find somewhere, that um, you are in quest or in search of present moment, and here is go, I got it. No, no, all the time it is present. Present movement is all the time in present. Whenever you come in consciousness, whenever you come and you live your life with conscious, it is present. All the time it is present. That only depends on you. If you want to become its friend, it will always with you. If you make it your enemy, or you will be unconsciously you will be unconscious of that time, as of that present moment. It's entirely up to you. Now the question is, the more important uh, point is, the decision to make the present moment into your friend is the end of your ego as well. Now, the many people, they struggle that, um, and they know that they have the egoic mind, and we 99% all people living with ego, and that ego is a killer of our present moment. But as soon you become friend of your present moment, that ego will just disappear, just run away. It, because the present moment and ego can never live together. They are never be a friend of each other. So more humble people, more people, people with more humility, they more work on present moment, and they have no ego, or a very very weak ego, which is acceptable in a happier life as such. So let's try to read a few lines uh, from the book, and see how our ego controls our life in reality, in this reality, which is not a real reality. and how the present moment uh, if will impact positively, and only the positive thing which we can have ever experienced in our life. Otherwise, we will all the time in fear, anxiety, guilt, regrets, angerness or dysfunction, and we all the time are stuck in past and future, past and future, past and future, and never live in a present life. So let's start to read it. So I would ask my colleague Jenny if she can start reading.
But that one decision you have to make again and again and again until it becomes natural to live in such a way. The decision to make the present moment into your friend is the end of the ego. The ego can never be in alignment with the present moment, which is to say, aligned with life, since its very nature compels it to ignore, resist, or devalue the now. Time is what the ego lives on. The stronger the ego, the more time takes over your life. Almost every thought you think is then concerned with the past or future, and your sense of self depends on the past for your identity and on the future for its fulfillment. Fear, anxiety, expectation, regret, guilt, anger are the dysfunctions of the time bound state of consciousness.
Thank you. It's a great reading. So you see that whenever we are in trouble or we have psychological problem or also even physical illnesses, we are more associating ourselves with time. Because if you see what are the expectation, it's a future something. What are anxiety? It's related to future or something happen or repeatedly will happen again from the past negative experience. What is a guilt related with something happened in past? What is anger? Is something which I'm not expecting, and that's make me anger. It's very much linked with past or future. Or so you see, our all problem or 99% problem are the product of association with my unconscious with time. And which time? Not the present time, not now, but in future or present. Sorry, or past. That's how it controls. Now, with the conscious level, now we are trying to little understanding from Eckhart Tolle's. He has analyzed that how and why we are away from our living and life. Why we always away. I mean, I would say 99.99% of the time which I spend or you spend or mostly people spend who are not self-aware, who are not consciously enlightened, uh, they are away um, from a present moment. And why? Does Eckhart Tolle is giving you three reason that why, in other sense, why our ego will not live with present moment, uh, and or even why we are all the time in future or past. So there are three reasons, and that reason we are going to look in 3 slides. The number one reason why ego will treat my present moment in a negative way, that I think that as a means to an end. And what does it means to an end? Let's try to read it first, and then we can explore it. So I would ask Mike if you can read it, and then we can try to understand quickly.
One, as a means to an end. To the ego, the present moment is, at best, only useful as a means to an end. It gets you to some future moment that is considered more important, even though the future never comes, except as the present moment and is therefore never more than a thought in your head. In other words, you are never fully here because you are always busy trying to get somewhere else.
Thank you. It's a great reading. So you see that why and how we takes even we are consciously little bit awake, we take the present moment as to achieve something in future, and still we don't. So we basically misuse, some people misuse the present moment as a means to get something in future. Again, we are associating our present moment with the future. Have you seen lot of people, they are struggling, they they work so much hard from day morning till evening and 7 days, and they are very hardworking, but still they are not happy, still they are dissatisfied, still they are not uh, achieving spiritually or with a peacefully what they are supposed to do. Why? Because even they got the present moment, or they are busy in present moment, but they try to associate present moment with some future achievement, and obviously that future does not come, and your ego mind says more, 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 you need to do more. For example, you are unemployed person, or you are poor person, you are lack of money or something, and the only wish in your mind is to get a job, to start a business. As soon you will get the job, as soon you will start the business and you start the money, it will take you to the next future thought as well. Now you need to double your income. Now you will start to make your double income. After, again, once you start to make double income, it will say you need to get now 4 times income, and now you need to expand your business on this level and this level and this level. It never ends. It never ends. That is the ego, is the pot without any bottom. You are fulfilling it. It never fulfilled. That fulfillment only possible when we only work on present, and we don't think that present moment will associate with my uh, doing some achievement, and will take as a means to an end. And therefore, because that is the unstable mind which we mostly, our old societies are trying to fulfill the mind, trying to fulfill the mind. We are doing this, we are doing this. Okay, yeah, okay, I will do this, that will make me happy. Okay, I will do this. Oh wow, what? So I mean, we are trying to use different thing, different techniques to make ourselves happier, calm, and stable, uh, with serenity, with the spiritual type of feeling, but we never, because of our this fact. So we take ego uh, as a means to an end. Sorry, the present moment as a means to an end. That is our the biggest number one problem. The second problem, we think our present moment is an obstacle. So we take the present moment, we understand sometime, but we take present moment is an obstacle to stopping something. So let's try to read it. So I would ask Cynthia if she can read it.
As an obstacle. When this pattern becomes more pronounced, and this is very common, the present moment is regarded and treated as it were an obstacle to be overcome. This is where impatience, frustration, and stress arise, and in our culture, it is many people's everyday reality, their normal state. Life, which is now, is seen as a problem, and you come to inhibit a world of problems that all need to be solved before you can be happy, fulfilled, or really start living. Or so you think.
Thank you. It's a great reading. So, you see, many people they avoid a present moment as well because they don't want to stop, they don't want to still, they don't want to uh, be in a life because they always want to go ahead, or they want to analyze their past or stick with the past, and they are very impatient, and that make them a very emotional life, stressful life. And that's the reality of our everyday life, that we don't want to work. We have so much resolution. Oh, okay, I will in future. I will do. I have. I need to do this. If I ask my audience, what are your goals, or if you make a list of next 1 year or 12 months goals or task or some important things to do and write it down, you can write it, and look you what you will write. You will write so many things to do, but one one when the time will come to act upon, because you only can take action in the present moment to do what you have decided in your 12 months resolution sheet, you cannot do, because you always will stuck in present, in future, and you will not take action in present. You are not in present all the time. That's why we have so much plans to do, but how many percentage of plans we make, and we take action and we finish them according to our own wishes? And how many peoples have this skill to make their plans and fulfill and do it? Okay. And complete as well. Very, very few. We seldom see these people in our life who have these skills or have capacity. Why? Because of we don't want to live in present. We think that the if I will be sticking my body in a present moment to do something, I don't have time to do this. I need to go further. So that psychological state, which is of frustration, that will make me in trouble. And that's why we always in trouble in our daily life. In reality, I'm talking about. And because it has the problem in this thing, for every problem that is solved, another pops up, isn't it? Once you have any problem, you solved it, you will have another trouble. You were unemployed, you got the job, the problem solved. Now the other problem is you don't have enough money. Okay, now you will have enough money. Now that enough money making you in debt, that enough money making you your partner in trouble, or someone is greedy towards your uh, money, that, and then you will resolve it, your partner problem, you will have another issue. So once you will resolve the problem, another problem pops up. As long as the present moment is seen as an obstacle, there can be no end to the problems. That is the problem and dilemma of today. So in my life, there is a quote from the Eckhart Tolle. He's saying, I will be whatever you want me to do. Life says. But the present moment now, what the present moment say, I will treat you the way you treat me. If you see me as a problem, I will be a problem to you. If you treat me as an obstacle, I will be an obstacle for you. So uh, that is the problem of our today's modern man, that we never be happy, and we try new surgery, new therapies, new way of treatment, new type of ideas, but nothing is working for me for it. it works temporarily because we have paid money for it, but after it's just disappeared. And that is the main problem with the marketers, the marketing company. What they do, what is a rising um, trend with the people, they make the videos and the marketing tools so that they can catch these emotional state of the millions of audience so that they can buy our product or service. And thence these companies are earning millions or billions dollars or pounds based on these problems of human. So rather than this, it looks like they are solving one problem, but it leads to another problem, and they solve the other problem. It leads to another problem and problem and problem until you go on your deathbed. That is the dilemma, tragedy of our people because of the mismanagement of the time. The third option, the third, um, what we call it, reason that the present moment, we don't live present moment because the present moment we think that it is an enemy. So we actually take the present moment as our enemy rather than it is the only friend of you as a being. But we, because of our egoic mind, we see entirely opposite. And let's try to read it. So I would ask Javeria if you can read it, please.
Yes. As an enemy, at worst, and is the this is also very common. The present moment is treated as if it were an enemy. When you hate what you are doing, complain about your surroundings, curse things that are happening or have happened, or when your internal dialogue consists of should, you and should not, of blaming and accusing, then you are arguing with what is arguing with that which is always already the case. You are making life into an enemy, and life says war is what you want and war is what you get. Internal reality when always reflect back to your inner state in then experienced as hostile.
Thank you. It's a great reading. So you see, that is another tragedy that we see the only living and the genuine thing in my life, present moment, as an enemy. And whatever I'm doing, I will start to hate. Oh, it should be done like this, or it should be like this. Oh, what's going on? Is complaining about the environment. My wife is making a love with me. Is is very close to me. Is sympathize or empathize with me, but I will I will hate it. I will still complain with my wife because of my mind is lost in present, lost in past, or fear in future. So I will respond to my wife very brutally, very unprofessionally, very with the rude behavior, and that's I hate because I don't have trust on my present moment. That even there was problem with my partner in past, I should make my present so stronger, so lively, so my mind and thoughts and words and action can impact on my my partner in present, so that we both can create a new life, a new things beyond my past bad relationship. So, but it's not. So you will see many people who are blaming, who are criticizing, and who are very reactive, who are cursing the things and surrounding, or to the government, or to the some past event, or what happened. They always are away miles from the present moment, because of their attitude, because of their wrong paradigm. So, if I will ask you, my colleagues Jenny, Mike, Javeria, Cynthia, and the people who are watching on Facebook, I would ask you a question. Eckhart Tolle is asking you two questions, very important question. If you want to know about your present moment and how you see it as an obstacle, or you see it as an enemy, or you see it as a means to an end. If you want to discover that what you treat unconsciously, now you need to ask two questions yourself, or I would ask you to write it down, and you can start to answer. I will pause for a few seconds or minute and think about. So number one key question you can ask is, what is my relationship with my present moment? That's the key question, and make you alert as well. What is my relationship with my present moment? How it is important or unimportant with me, my present moment? That is a question. And the other question you can ask, what is relationship with life? What is my relationship with my life? With life. So these are the two questions if you can ask, and then you will understand where do you lie. Are you still treating your life as means to an end, or you see it as obstacle of your life, in your life, or about your life, or you see it as enemy? And ask yourself until you don't need it anymore. Eckhart Tolle is saying you keep asking and keep answering these two questions, um, and then you, until you satisfy spiritually, you keep asking. And if you are not able to answer these questions, it means that you are gripped with ego. Your mind is not taking you to this answer. But if you are consciously aware, the ego will disappear and you will try to answer this. And once you are consciously aware about your present moment, because the present moment are the only moment which are inseparable, which are as connect with life. And the only thing is connect with the life. Only you. When we say life, you see, when you say the life, what does it mean by? Think about life. Let's do this quick exercise. So, and you will answer me. If you think about life, what comes in you? What thought or image comes in your life, in your mind? Something is moving, right? Something is constantly changing, right? I think you will not have something which is static in past, right? So life is something which is live and is linked directly with now, and that is a life. When you are not connected with now, then you are a dead. So we live, mostly people, like a dead life. And that's how our emotions are the indicator of this dead life. Because we are frustrated, we are angry, we are restless, we want to authorize the people. That's all reflection. We are dead because these all things or decision or thoughts which I am making now based on my future or the past. But as soon I will consciously engage with my present, that is the life I'm start to do. So always live a life. Live a life. That is the only one thing you make you greater and stand out from the crowd. Um, and that is the important thing which you can do. How does it sound? If somebody has any comment about this or some thought related with this or any question?
Yes, it's wonderful that um, we have to live a life.
That's right. That's the how course effort is, that this course is helping you to giving you to coaching you that how we need to change our life into the live life, uh, because that is the only way how we can be living truly. Otherwise, we are dead. Um, and that is ultimate reality. Yeah, somebody was also saying something, I think, before Javeria. Okay, yeah, Jenny.
Well, my relationship with the present moment, I think, is for one, opportunity. I think I see that. And your second question was, what is my relationship with life, which is also opportunity. I love to take and look at everything as an opportunity. Like, in my relationships, for example, my mother was coming for the weekend and I don't get to see her very much, and her trip here was special. So I put a Christmas tree in her bedroom and, set up everything so it would be super nice for her. Opportunity to make her feel comforted, special, and Christmas lights going to bed, that feels good. Knowing somebody took the extra. But I also like to let it be. Like, you just put your stuff out there and then you just let it be. So if my mom were to come down and say, that is the ugliest Christmas tree I think I've ever seen in my entire life, then I would just be like, well, okay. But it wouldn't upset me. It wouldn't control me. I would still let it be. It's other people's response to me that doesn't matter. That's none of my business. If I go out there and do something good, then great. If she's to come down and say, wow, I feel really special over this tree, then I'd be like, oh, well, good, that's great. But I took the opportunity. And I look at that at work too, because in insurance sales, you may call on 15 people and the first 14 say, no, I'm not interested. Would I say, oh, well, gosh, I just can't do this. This is not something I want to do. Well, the number 15 person is still an opportunity. So were the first 14 that said no. But then 15, they're like, you know what? Thanks for calling. I have been meaning to get some insurance pricing. I've been thinking about it all the time. That's one thing I'm interested in doing. Can you tell me about that? And I'm like, yeah, okay, because I've just been rejected 14 times and I don't expect my 15. But everything being an opportunity with life, throwing it out into the universe, let it be, whether it be good, bad, or ugly. My response to just always looking at opportunities will bring me eventually an opportunity.
Yeah.
There will always be an opportunity at some point. So that's how I look at life, opportunity
Yeah,
in the moment.
that's a great thought for opportunity, and obviously it does mean that, in other words, if you are taking life as an opportunity, and that is your central uh, attractive dimension of life, then it means that you are very much ready to work and living in present moment, because the opportunities, these people always are ready to take any opportunity, and they can take action once they are living a life. Therefore, the dead people or sluggish people or reactive people, they don't take action on opportunities, and that's why we have plenty of opportunities all the time. And the people who only they are successful to avail it, who are present. And absolutely, you I think you are on spot on what we are learning at the moment, what we are reading, that the uh, the positive people, proactive people, spiritual people, or they are very opportunist uh, type of people. So that's a great uh, development you have done in your life, or that is a great sign. Uh, the guy, the Rauf Haider, on the Facebook, he is saying, I think the life as a blessing. Uh, so, yeah, the blessing is again is something which is you are allowing someone or some forces to be blessed on you. And if you see that the life as a blessing, that is some I mean, you need to little bit elaborate as well. In what terms, in what terms you think that the life is blessing? Because that's quite a vast thing which you are talking about in relationship with our present moment. Yes, blessing is a feeling when you constantly feel that you are in life, you are in present moment, and you are all the time blessed. For example, if you are not living in present, if you are not living in your past, or you are not indulged or engaged in your future, and you are in your present moment, that and you are doing something very important, you are constantly engaged with your present moment, in that term, that's a blessing. Of course, that's a blessing. So you believing that some supernatural force or God or Allah that continuously giving you force to live in a present moment, yes, in that sense, you are right, and it's a very positive sign, of course. So the last thing in this section, and then we will starting our new section, that you also needs to know that the Eckhart Tolle is asking one another question. How do you go beyond a dysfunctional relationship with the present moment? So when the relationship are not working, and they are broken relationship, and what sort of what do you do, and how you can make them functional, how you can make your broken relationship or mistrusted relationship into a functional relationship. So he's further saying that the most important thing is to see it in yourself, in your thought, and in your action. That is the one of the thought. In a moment of seeing, of noticing that your relationship with the now is dysfunctional, you are present. So that awareness must be with you, that you are noticing it. You know that this is dysfunctional, um, and that is not breaking, and that will also make you present. So that awareness is so important. The seeing is the arising presence. What you are seeing, what you are aware about, that also make you in present. The moment you see the dysfunction, it's going to be dissolved. It's exactly like the moment uh, you are aware about fear, you aware about you have guilties. That awareness is sufficient to dissolve or removing the fear in your life or fear of the moment on that time. Exactly the same. So that's why he's saying some people laugh out loudly when they see this, when they see this dysfunctional uh, aspect with awareness, because they start to know the reality that how silly or stupid or foolish he or she was. So with seeing comes the power of choice, and the choice of saying yes to now, to the now, of making it is as your friend. So these all things are very linked with each other. These all things are very important for uh, our relationship as well. So here, so that's the section one which we covered, uh, that the how we take the present moment and what are the problems, that why we don't live in present moment, and how our ego stops us to live in present moment with many other things. Now we are starting in second section and the last section of our uh, class today, and that is time. Time, time, and time. All the time it's controlling me by each second and hour and day and weeks and month and year. I'm imagining as a reality, and it is controlling me, and it is passing. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock is going and going. I can't stop it. I can't hold myself for a minute, for a second in the time which I'm passing. I'm continuously is a victim of time. I cannot stop it to be feeling that victimization. It controlling me, my day, my night, my sleeping, when I'm awake, when I'm doing something, when I'm planning something, when I'm a phone call, when I'm talking with my client, when I'm talking with my partner, when I'm dealing with my children, when I'm going to pick and drop school to my children, when I'm in my office, when I'm going from office to home, when I'm watching TV, I'm watching a movie like Mike earlier said that he watched last night a movie. Uh, any activities I'm doing, it is direct link with time, and I can't control. I can't control it. I'm, I mean, even I can't think that I can control, because how much percentage it directly influence on my life. Either I'm imagining is a positive influence or negative influence, but I'm all the time is under time. And when this time will pass after 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, I will die, because I can maximum live 100 years of life, right? Okay, 120 years of life. And then after I will die anyway. Eventually I will die. Eventually um, my country will collapse. My city will collapse. My economic system will collapse. My social justice system will transform into another form of system. My children will grow, and then eventually they will become mature and older and oldest, and then they will die. And then their children and my grandchildren and great children, and then their children, and that's how it's going on. But all is going through time, isn't it? And if I go back, that how that this time has started, I know this time was started when the whole entire galaxies and the universe were started, when the whole and and the big bang was happened, then the time start. And this whole universe is expanding from one central origin to where we are going away from that central origin, when where the big bang was happened, where this big bang was happened. And that's from there this idea of time is capturing it all the time, captivating me, and I can't live without even 1 second without time. That's it is reshaping that time. You will be more successful when you are going ahead of time. Which economy will be more good, which are making more money, which are making more production, which making more sale in quicker time. This is more successful. Our criteria of being successful country, being successful person, be successful company and organization is directly with time. Our productivity, our uh, any good judgment, a judgment about being a good thing or good people or good country or good community or good is relative with time, isn't it? Okay. Now let's go to our another reality, the ultimate reality. And that is, the truth is, time is illusion. The time which is controlling each second which I'm thinking is illusion. Absolutely illusion. 100%, 101% it's illusion. It's imaginary. Time is unreal. But how this unreal thing, how this imaginary thing is controlling each second, is controlling my all actions, is controlling my everything. It making me sad, it making me happy, and it impacting each and everything around me. Not even around me, even which I don't know. Also that controlling by time. So let's try to explore this and learn this fundamental, a very, very foundational concept which we believe, and we even never bother to challenge it. Because to challenge anything, why we challenge anything? Once we start to understand it, right? And why we start to understand anything? When we give it importance. Oh yes, that is something which I need to contemplate. I can challenge it, or I understand because I understand it. We never bother to understand time because it is like, have you ever tried to understand how you breathe? You never try to understand, or we not try to understand because this is so much personal to me. The the very, very personal things we never try to explore. We never try to understand because it is reality. And that is something reality which we never question, or we never think about being questioned. And that's how we also take time, that we never question about time, why it is controlling me, why it is so important. And now we are going in conscious state now, right now. You are watching me, you are listening me, that let's try to contemplate, let's try to challenge for next 10-20 minutes when this recording or a live class will finish, that let's try to understand, not even understand, let's try to transform my life, that how it is illusion, how it is imaginary. But the concept of the illusion you know already, yeah, very well. If you're watching my screen, and we understand that we have so many illusion in our world, and this is one of the illusion scene when we driving on a road, and we see that there is a water at the end of the road, but as soon you will go to near, there is no water. That happens in deserts as well. That happens every day. Even I was driving yesterday, and I mean, just 1 or 2 miles ahead, when I see there is look like there is a wet road, or there is a water, but there is no water, there is no wet, but it looks as a reality. Oh, there is a water, there is water. Oh, it's a wet road. Oh, it must be wet because of rain, but nothing. It's absolutely dry surface. That we call illusion. This illusion is very much functional in our life as well. But we deny these things. We know that we have so many illusion we see because our sensory equipment, what are these are sensory equipment? How we perceive the world. We perceive the world with eyes, which we have, with nose, which we smell, which tongue, which through which we taste, we feel when we touch, isn't it? And ear, when we listen anything, we hear something, and also our sixth sense through which we define or we judge something, right? But most of the time they make a false judgment. When you are following your egoic mind, all these sensory equipment or peripherals on your body give you a wrong judgment as a reality. And you think that you are in a real world, but actually it's illusion. And that is very related with the time as well. But I wanted to give you the idea that we interact a lot of illusions and events in our life, right? Now let's try to link with illusion and the time. Look at that person. it's a physical body, right? It's a man. It's a human being. Let's say it's human. And imagine you are sitting in a room with people or without people, no matter. Imagine just. And indirectly in your mind, in your brain, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, time is passing. Either outside is day or night or afternoon. But after certain time of staying on the chair or in the room, you will assume that that day is passing outside. Time is passing outside. Now it's going to be night. If you are a night, now it's going to be a morning. And now it's going to be afternoon. So that obviously you are thinking, isn't it? While you are sitting in the chair. Now imagine, just imagine now, you are not in the room. Imagine you are not in the room and you are not anywhere. And now if you see what's going on in the room, what you will imagine, what you are now seeing? Nothing. Because your mind is not there, your body is not there. Now the room or the world around the room is look like a static picture. It may look like a just unmoved scene, isn't it? What I'm trying to say that that the realization of time is only possible when you are living with body. And when you are living, right now you are living with your physical body, you know that you have a physical body, then the time operates. Because time operates psychologically in your mind. And if you are not in this world, then there is no time. So time exists only when your body exists. And when your body exists, it exists through your mind because of the programming, because of the scripting, right from the childhood was building upon this. And once you start to know that the time is controlling you and you are now aware. So if you don't know how to control the time or how to get rid of this time or how to eliminate this time factor, which is imaginary, which does not exist and it's controlling me and my millions or billions of people in the world, how I can control it? And then you will be reactive. I want to kill time. I want to free from time. Isn't it? You may have imagination that one moment I will be away from. There is no consciousness linked with my life with the time. And that is possible. And many people in this world, they want to get rid of and eliminate this time because they know that this time is not existing. It does not exist, but it controlling my all physical objects and my all things. But at the same time, it controls us. And that called paradox of time. The paradox of time means that it exists as well in my life, it controlling, but in reality it does not exist. And that is a paradox. And that means that life is always now. The life is always in the real life, in the real moment. And your entire life unfold this constantly. It's constantly now which we already understand. So the that's paradox we are trying to understand today in this section as well. So let's try to read it, and we will understand in detail that why time is so important and how we can rid of and why it is imaginary. We will try, we need more arguments, we need more evidence that time is imaginary. There is no time, it is just a psychological time, and that's controlling us. So let's try to read it. Be very bold, be very courageously if you come across any truths, because only your pure life is linked with your pure thoughts, your pure, clear truths which you have, not the facts, but the truths. You must live the life actually, not factually. We need to avoid factual life. We need to accept actual life, what actually is. Because factual life will based on many facts, small facts, and that facts look like a truth, but in not reality. But the actual life will always be pure life. So that is the difference between actual and factual, that we always live with facts, and that leads to factual life. And we never bother to live actual life because we don't know we never learn how to actualize world, how to live with the truth, ultimate truth, which is the actual life. So there is a difference of uh, two different mindset. But we talking about here with the time, that time controls everything because we are a body, and once we are body, we have a physicality. It directly linked with time. Tick tock, tick tock. As soon we feel that we don't have body, there is no time. Time will just disappear. So let's try to learn with this, and we try to learn. So I would ask uh, Jenny if you can read this and next paragraph, and then we can start further read.
The paradox of time. On the surface, the present moment is what happens. Since what happens changes continuously, it seems that every day of your life consists of thousands of moments in which different things happen. Time is seen as the endless succession of moments, some good, some bad. Yet if you look more closely, that is to say through your own immediate experience, you find are not many moments at all. You discover that there is only ever this moment. Life is always now. Your entire life unfolds in this constant now. Even past or future moments only exist when you remember or anticipate them, and you do so by thinking about them in only the moment there is, this one.
Yeah.
Why does it appear then as if there were many moments? Because the present moment is confused with what happens, confused with content. Content. The space of now is confused with what happens in that space. The confusion of the present moment with the content gives rise not only to the illusion of time, but also to the illusion of ego.
Thank you. It's a great reading. So that is very important to understand, and we already understand this, that the life is only linked with now, the present moment. The other thing, which is past and future, which is actually the time which we are imagining, uh, that is a fake or imaginary, unreal thing, which is controlling our time all the our life all the time. And the paradox is here that on the one hand, how can we deny the reality of time? You need it to go from here to there, to prepare a meal, build a house, read this book. You need time to grow up, to learn new things. Whatever you do seems to take time, right? Everything is subject to it, and eventually, this bloody tyrant time, as Shakespeare called it, is going to kill you. You could compare it to the raging river that drags you along with it, or a fire in which everything is consumed. How the time is important. Eckhart Tolle is saying that time is a killer, and Shakespeare called time as a bloody tyrant time because it never make you in comfort zone, in a real comfort zone. It always treated you like a fire which will consume, and everything is dragging into the time. But at the same time, the so you see the paradox is the time is unreal, it does not exist, but it controls everything still. And why? Because our physical world, because of our present as a physical body, as a physical object. So, like I said in the earlier example, that the man sitting in the room will feel all the time tick tock, something happen, and that impact on the environment as a day, light, afternoon, and deep night and stuff. But as soon if his body disappear, there is no time, there is no awareness of time, and that's how we are. So Eckhart Tolle is saying another lesson from he's saying a story that Mike can read it for us. This one and the next page.
I recently met some old friends, a family I had not seen in a long time, and I was shocked when I saw them. I almost asked, "Are you ill? What happened? Who did this to you?" The mother, who walked with a cane, seemed to have shrunk in size, her face shriveled like an old apple. The daughter, who had been full of energy, enthusiasm, and the expectations of youth when I last saw her, seemed worn out, tired after bringing up three children. Then I remembered. Almost 30 years had passed since we last met. Time had done this to them, and I'm sure they were just as shocked when they saw me.
Yeah, that's how the time is treating us, and we are no longer what we were even yesterday, because we are constantly changing, and that changing means that is becoming your past, and that's how the life is treating, and that is giving the paradigm of life as a reality, but it's not reality. So we have to learn how to live without time. And what does it mean by time? We need to live without time. I mean, how is it possible, Maratib? How we can live without time? My my everything is scheduled. I'm going to have my breakfast. Then I will have a shower. I'm going to meet my friend or client now, and then after 1 week I have a presentation. After 2 week, I have to attend my doctor, and then it is all scheduled. It is all under time. How I can get rid of this time? What what the topic you? What the nonsense you talking about, Marathi? Why you I mean, I know you what you're saying, But how you can say that we need to live without time? So these are the thoughts maybe you are thinking or are coming or will be coming. Uh, I will address this. What does it mean by uh, that coming is there is um, a concept is coming that what does it mean by we need to live independently of the time. So before that, uh, we will keep reading it. So I would ask Mike if you can read it, please.
Everything seems to be subject to time, yet it all happens in the now. That is the paradox. Wherever you look, there is plenty of circumstantial evidence for the reality of time. A rotting apple, your face in the bathroom mirror compared to your face in a photo taken 30 years ago, yet you never find any direct evidence. You never experience time itself. You only ever experience the present moment, or rather what happens in it. If you go by direct evidence only, then there is no time, and the now is all there ever is.
Absolutely. Thank you. It's a great reading. So once you start to live in present moment, so the time will not be with you, but still the time is an illusion. If you see the picture here, what you are perceiving this picture, and is it possible in reality? I mean, the reality which we live, a person is. If you see my cursor, the person uh, is walking out, but that's not possible. I mean, how he can arrange these stairs like this? And it's not, because this surface is something else, and this is an internal surface. How this he can lay this stairs like this? So, but but as a reality, if you see, uh, it is illusion actually. But but in reality, it looks like it exists. So that's how the time is. Uh, so let's now, in the last 5 minutes, which is more important, we need to learn how we can eliminate time, how we can manage the time, what it should be. So basically, it's elimination of the time in our real life. And still, we will be practical, because time is so important to live in a practical life. So that is a question, that how we can live um, in our practical world while doing my office work, my business, my job, my family, my appointments, but still I need to be out from time, which is not real. So let's try to learn this. And I would ask Javeria if you can start read it. Javeria, are you there? Okay.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah.
Wait. Eliminating time. You cannot make the egoless state into a future goal and then work towards it. All you get all you get is more distant this dissatisfaction, more inner conflict, because it will always seem that you have not arrived yet, have not attained that state yet. When freedom from ego is your goal from the future, for the future you give yourself more time, and more time means more ego. Time is the horizontal dimension of life, and the surface layer of reality. Then there is a vertical dimension of depth, accessible or to you only through the portal of the present moment.
Thank you. Thank you for great reading. So, if we want to eliminate the time in our life or make the less control of the time in our life, then we need to live without ego. And the ego is more ego you will have, then you will more live in your past or future. And that is mostly people who are very optimistic and making planning in future, and they are more egoful, and hence for them the time is so important. But at the same time, because they are involved with the unreal world, unreal thing, therefore they will never achieve what they will do unless they will start to live with present moment and with awareness, and that's how they can eliminate time. Now the problem is, what is the, the uh, direct link and relationship of myself with the time, which is the main topic for our course. Now we will understand that what is a relationship now with myself of the time. So we can read it and then we will learn more. So I would ask Mike if you can read this and next slide.
Now let's understand self. Look carefully to find out if your spiritual search is a disguised form of ego. Even trying to get rid of yourself can be disguised search for more if the getting rid of yourself is made into a future goal. Giving yourself more time is precisely this, giving yourself more time. Time, that is to say, past and future, is what the false mind made self, the ego, lives on, and time is in your mind. It isn't something that has an objective existence out there. It is a mind structure needed for sensory perception, indispensable for practical purposes, but the greatest hindrance to knowing yourself.
Yeah, so it is directly linked with the knowing for yourself. And why? Yeah, continue, please.
So instead of adding time to yourself, remove time. The elimination of time from your consciousness is the elimination of ego. It is the only true spiritual practice.
Yeah, so many people who wants to remove problems in their life and they want to settle or removing their past event traumas, then they come into the spiritual world, and there is one important practice they have to do to get rid of this time, uh, tick tock mind, and how it does mean that the clock or appointments I need to miss. I don't need to care about my time, school timing, office timing, or doctor timing, or sleeping timing. What does it mean? No, it does not mean that you will not do this. It is actually asking for psychological mind association with the time you have built with, going into future and living in the past. That time you have to get rid of, and that is very easy when you live with live world. When you will live in a present moment, then you can easily get rid of your present your past or future. That time, which is psychological time only, which is unreal time, uh, that you will eliminate from your life. And that is possible, isn't it? So if you leave in the comment on Facebook or on the Zoom uh, chat that is it possible for you to eliminate past and future and live with present moment, but it does not mean that you are removing the clock time. Clock time is for appointment, is for sleeping, is for breakfasting, it is for going doctor. That is absolutely normal. So that's Eckhart Tolle is saying that not the clock time. When we speak of elimination of time, we are of course not referring to the clock time, which is the use of time for practical purposes, such as making an appointment or planning a trip. It would be almost impossible to function in this world without the clock time. What we are speaking here of is elimination of psychological time, which is egoic mind's endless preoccupation with past and future and its unwillingness to be one with life by living in alignment with the inevitable isness of the present moment. That is the important thing and the takeaway from this class today, that we need to live and get rid of this psychological time. That's and that time is the unreal time, past or the future. Is that make sense? You can comment on the text as if you have any question for this. And further, Eckhart Tolle is saying whenever a habitual no to life turns into a yes, whenever you allow this movement to be as it is, you dissolve time as well as ego. So time and ego worked all together. Once you will eliminate the time, you will eliminate the ego. Because for the ego to survive, it must make time, past or future, more important than the present moment. The ego cannot tolerate becoming friendly with the present moment, except briefly just after got when it what it wanted. But nothing can satisfy the ego for long. So he further mentioning that as long as it runs your life, there are two ways of being unhappy. So there are two ways why we are feel unhappiness. Number one, not getting what you want is one. Getting what you want is other. So even if you are getting something which you want, or even you are getting which you don't want, still you are unhappy. That he is making a point. And the last slide before we go, I would ask uh, my friend Mike, if you continue to read, please.
Whatever is or happens is the form that the now takes. As long as you resist it internally, form, that is to say, the world, is an impenetrable barrier that separates you from who you are beyond form, separates you from the formless one life that you are. When you bring an inner yes to the form the now takes, that very form becomes a doorway into the formless. The separation between the world and God dissolves.
Thank you. So the last line is the crucial and very, very important, that once we don't live with time, it means that we don't live with our physical body uh, as such, and that will infuel the spirituality. Then there will be no separation between God and the world, because world exists when the time exists, and the world exists when then your ego exists, and then your forms exist as well. What does it mean by forms? Forms mean your visible world in shape of geometrical pattern, in form of uh, your how big or tall or small or fat or thin you are male, female, or other gender you are, which ethnicity you are, which color of your skin are, or object. All objects are rectangular, square, triangular shape, circular shape, or so that's how all our world in a physical visibility, right? And if that visibility is not is directly linked with the time, then it means that since the time is imaginary, it means that that all physical world we can get rid of as well. And once we will get rid of this physical world, that state is the state when everything is one, everything is inseparable, when everything is uh, is giving you the message of oneness of the whole world. And that's how the God is. The God is is the state, is the being when everything is one and united. And ego is the opposite. Ego makes the shape, ego makes you divide into forms, ethnicity, making separation of each other, one and another, with argument, rational thinking, and that forms our world today. And that's make us reactive as well. So what does it mean by get rid of time, elimination of time? It does mean also you are no longer under influence of this physical world. You will live in this world, but without its influence, because of your awareness, because of you are running by your own being. You are no longer form. You are not fatty man. You are not tallest girl. You are away from these things. And once you are away or no longer identify with these forms, you are spiritual being now. And that is my identity. My identity is the identity which make me, which is live forever without any form and shape, without any ego, without any time and space, which make me closer or attached or linked with my God, with my consciousness, free from all barriers and obstacles and all forms which I can sense through my perceptions, and that perceptions is the product of my five senses and give me scientific world which is not real actually, because all are operating under time and associated with physicality. So still we can live in this world, but free from all once we have all awareness. And that is the objective of our today's class, that how we can live in present time with our real world, a real time, present moments, and how we can understand paradox of time, and then how we can eliminate this psychological time, not the clock time. I repeat it, not the clock time, because we are living in this world, we are surviving in this physical world. So this awareness will be sufficient to understand who I am. I'm a spiritual being in a form of human. I repeat, I'm a spiritual being in a form of human. I'm not only human, or actually I'm not human. When I say the human, it does mean that I have a physical body. The tick tock always operate in my mind unconsciously and consciously, and hence everything around me which I'm perceiving is start to control me. Then I will know, then how I can away from this controlling by everything, when I will have awareness, this timeless world, this physical, non-physical world, when I will be aware of spiritual world, when I will be living independent of psychological time, but yet I still follow the clock time, when I will live without my ego, and when I will not live in my future and I will not live in my past, and when I will only living in my live world, my live life in a present moment, and when I make my present moment as a friend, and I will be able to remove all obstacle which preventing me to live in my present moment, then I will be amazing being, a pure human being, a pure spiritual being, not only human. That's why we call ourselves, we are human being. We are being beyond any form and identities. But because we need to live in this physical world, that's why we have shape. Some people are tall, some people are male, some people are female, some people are transgender, some people uh, have white skin, some people have black skin, some people have brown skin, some people have different hair color, some people have different um, uh, senses of level of senses of five senses. So that's how we are different, but that's not the ultimate reality. We are beyond from this. We don't need to live with these association, because all these are imaginary as our time is imaginary. But since we are living in this world, we have to live with these things, but with the awareness that we are spiritual being. And then how we can associate. So that was our long class for today. Um, and week number 5 is finished. The next week is a week number 6, when we will try to discover ourselves, uh, and the topic is the dreams and going beyond the limitation, which is also linked with myself. So that's it. I appreciate your patience for this long class. It's 2 hours almost. Uh, and I invite you to subscribe my YouTube channel. There will be a link below, and you can subscribe the blog website as well, which is maratibalishat.com. And you can also write me for your any question on my email address, which is also there. And I, I will see you next Sunday with the same time, 1 p.m. UK local time, and for week number 6. So anybody can join our class, even though you missed last 5 classes, no problem. You still take as a new class as well. So thank you so much for your presence. I appreciate you, and see you next Sunday in the next class.
Enjoyed it, Maratib.
Sir,
Thank you.
Bye.